Hello everyone. So here I'm going to solve this question. For this the difficulty level is medium, but this is going to be a very interesting question, right? It's not because this require a lot of advanced function and all those things, advanced functionality and all those things, but because just how we manage to handle the data, right? So what it is saying is we need to find the popularity percentage. This question is from Facebook or Meta. The question says find the popularity percentage for each user on Facebook or on Facebook, let's say on Facebook. So let's say your name is John and on Facebook you have 1000 friends. So what is the popularity percentage that you have? How would you calculate that? That's what you need to find. So how would you find that? For that it says the popularity percentage is defined as the total number of friends the user has, right? So for example, your name is John and you have total number of friends as 1000 divided by the total number of users on the platform. So on Facebook, let's say there are 10,000 there are 10,000 total users, right? And you are one of those users and you have 1000 friends, right? So your popularity percentage will be 1000 divided by 10,000 into 100. So that's what it is telling you over here. It's as simple as that. Output each user along with their popularity percentage, right? So we need to output the user name or user ID and their popularity percentage. Order records in ascending order by user ID. So by user ID, we need to arrange that in ascending order as well. So the data has two columns. The user 1 and user 2 column are pair of friends. Let's have a look at the sample data. So you see over here, this is user ID, right? And this is also user ID. So user ID 2 is friend with user ID 1. Then user ID 1 is friend with user ID 3. So this is how the data looks like, right? In total, this has 9 records. So let's just go ahead and try to understand this data. To make it more clear, I will try to explain this with the help of Excel and with the help of some other examples. Okay, so you see here I have taken the data. This is exactly the same data which we have over there, right? And now you see over here it is numeric ID, but to make it very simple and less confusing, what I have done is I have placed a name, a real name for each of those number, and that I have marked in the color. So to solve this question, we require to figure out two things. First, total number of users on the platform, and then number of friends each user has, right? Rather, I can say this is the first thing which we need to find, and then this is the second thing. These two things, once you are done with figuring out these two things, you are sorted, right? So let me take this out from here and put it away here so that it does not create any kind of disturbance, right? So that's the problem statement which we have. So first problem statement is figure out the number of friends each user has. So let's see over here. Here you see the name Rohan. Rohan has one friend called Hari. Rohan has other friend called Bharat. Then Rohan has other friend called Punit. But at the same time, Kiran has Kiran has a friend as Rohan. Then again Deepak has friend as Rohan, right? So in total, if you see, if you go by column A, so here you see Rohan has 3 friends, right? But at the same time, Kiran has Rohan as a friend. So ultimately, Kiran will be friend of Rohan also. So that means Rohan has 4th friend as well. Same goes with Deepak. So in total, if you see, Rohan has 5 friends. How many friends Rohan has? 5. So you see, Rohan has a friend named Hari. Rohan has a friend named Bharat. 2. Then again, Rohan has a friend named Punit. 3. Then again, here you see Rohan has a friend Kiran. 4. Then Rohan has a friend as Deepak. 5 friends Rohan has. But you see how difficult it is becoming to take a count. So we need to figure out a way, efficient way, so that we could simply put a pivot and we can take the count of that, right? So what we can do is, let's say this is the total data set. Let me make a copy of this, right? So I'm taking this data set over here again. Okay, all right. And then again what I'll do is I'll copy user 2 and let me put it over here. And then again for whoever was against that, let me put them over here. So now what you see over here is, let me make it a little small. Now what you see over here is all the things are at one sequence, so you don't need to put your mind looking at here and there, here and there. So now for example, if you have to check how many friends that Rohan has, so simply you put a filter over here and you see Rohan has 5 friends. But in the previous data set, if you had to check how many friends Rohan has, and if you go over here and find for that, so you get only 3, right? So the manipulation which we have done is, we simply, what we did is we copied user 2 and pasted it below user 1. Then again we copied user 1 and copied it below user 2. Now if you put a pivot on this, let me put a pivot on this. In Excel you might have used the pivot, right? So if you put a pivot on this like this and then like this, so here is what you get. See, Rohan is here, he has 5 friends, and in total how many users are there? There are 9 users, and each of the users have these friends. So if once you get this kind of table, you will simply put it over here, right? You simply gonna put it over here, and then you're gonna divide each of these with 9, because there are total 9 users. So for example, you need to calculate the popularity percentage for Bharat. This will be 1 divided by 9. So this divided by 9. All right, and then you drag it same. But because you have to convert it into the percentage, you need to multiply it with 100, right? And then you see this. You see, you got the percentage. So this is exactly what we need to achieve in the Python. So first task which we are going to do is put whatever we have as user 2, we need to put that below user 1, and whatever we have below user 1, we need to put that below user 2. That is the first thing. Once you are done with that, the things are almost sorted. You see something like this over here. This is exactly what we had done, right? So you see this user, whatever we had in user ID 2, we put over here, and whatever we had in user ID 1, we put that over here, right? After doing this, you just create a pivot and then it is sorted, right? So let's just go ahead and try to do this in Python. In Python, we would require to create 2 data frames, right? And would require to rename that as well, right? So let me take you to the Python. In this portal itself, I'm just going to solve that. So the data frame name was, where do I get this is the data frame name. So this is the data frame name, and if you want to print this, you see this is how the data is looking like. So don't worry about these are just the user IDs, right? So to make it a small data frame name, I'm just going to store it into Facebook, right? Then the second data frame which I'm going to create is Facebook 2. In that, what I'm going to do is I will rename these 2 columns first. Okay, so let me just rename these 2. So I'm going to say fb.rename, and here I'm going to say columns equals to user 1, that I would rename as user 2, and then user 2 I will rename, sorry, my bad, user 1. All right, and now let me run this. Here is what we got, right? So user 1 is renamed as user 2, and user 2 is renamed as user 1. Now I need to append this fb2 below fb3, right? So let's just see. Combined, let me create a data frame called combined, and I'm going to say pt.concat, and into that I'm going to put both of these two, fb 2. All right, and let's just see combined. Let's just print it. Bravo, we got that. Let me just check out how many records that we got into it. We got 18, which makes sense, right? Because originally in one data frame we have 9, then same thing we are putting in FB2 as well, so in total it becomes 18. Now after this, what we need to do is simple. We just need to put pivot on this particular column. Okay, let's just have a look on this, how it looks like user1. So let's just put that combined dot pivot table, and into that in index we are going to use user1, and in index we are going to use user1, and then in agfunc, let's call it agfunc, we are going to take a count of it. Now let's just see how does it looks like. So you see, this is how it is looking like. Now I will again do reset index. You see, this is how it looks like. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7. These are all the user IDs. User ID 1 has 5 users. Now let me show you in the Excel also. So user ID 1 refers to Rohan, so this has 5 users. You see, this is how. So we are done with this. Now we need to divide. This is the you can primarily consider this as the count. Okay, so what we can do is we need to divide this with the total count of users. So now we need to take total count of the users. How many total count that we have? We have 9, but here it is small data set, so you can get to know that thing, but just in case if you have huge data set, you won't get to know. So how would you understand that? So for that, let's just say shape. Then what you get is 9 rows and 2 columns. So out of this you need to pick this 9, right? Or let me do this, let me call it summary. I'm just putting it inside this. All right, inside the summary I put all this data. Now in this summary I will put popularity count. It asks me to what is it. Let's just have a look at the expected count. We can create a count variable, or we can just say popularity count. Let's say that popularity percentage. I'm just going to say it. Okay, now into this we have this user2, right? User2 divided by total count of it, right? So I'm going to say summary into this user2 divided by dot shape, and here I'm just going to pick the 0th element, right? So this will give me this data. This is going to give me this. You see, let me do this summary. So this is what we got over here. All right, this is the user ID, this is total number of count, and this is the percentage that we are getting. Now what we need to do is we need to multiply it with 100, right? So let me just multiply it with 100. All right, here is what we got. You see that? See, that's exactly what we got. But in final output we require only 2 things, which is user1, that is the final user ID, and then we require this popularity percentage. Done. We are done with solving this question. Now let's just check whether that is right or not. Ooh, this is correct. This is absolutely right. So this is how we just solved this. It was very simple, I guess. All the magic which it has is over here, right? Once you are done with understanding this, it is going to be simple. I just hope that it was easy for you also to understand. Just in case if you get any doubt, put that into the comment section. If it was easy for you to understand, share it with your friends and subscribe this for our motivation.